Coming up, is Triple H bummed out by NXT releases as they've ruined his main roster plans? WWE are bringing back a missing match for a Saudi show and a whole bunch of Rumble-related updates. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and help us help you to stay on top of all the come-ins and go-ins, so many go-ins in WWE's case, of the wrestling world.
Support WrestleTalk!
Now last week, WWE started the year as they meant to go on, hosting NXT New Year's Evil, crowning a new champion in Bron Breakker, and then immediately dismantling the team that made it all possible. Names like William Regal, Road Dogg, and Samoa Joe, plus even more creative and coaching staff were terminated from their roles on the brand. Now rumours swirl that this was some attempt by WWE to remove Triple H's influence from the former Black and Gold as NXT continues its transition into its multicoloured 2.0 form. Now it appears that we have an update on how the game himself feels about all of that, as PW Torch's Wade Keller has spoken to sources who say that Trips was bummed out by the releases. Totally not tubular, dude. Not just because it signals the true death knell of old NXT as if we didn't know it was coming from Bron Breakker's intensely subtle entrance at New Year's Evil, but also because it reportedly scuppers Paul from the back office's main roster ambitions. Now, a long-standing belief among fans is that Triple H would be the man to take over running the show if Vince McMahon were to ever step down. Not even over his dead body, it's not gonna happen. But with the addition of Nick Khan and the rumours of a sale, that also now looks unlikely. Paul shall forever remain in the back office. It's even more unlikely when you consider that Keller added to his report that many sources told him the people released were part of a team Triple H was assembling in case he was ever called upon to take charge of the main roster. Keller was told if his day came to run the main roster, he wanted his group of people. It was thought that it would include William Regal and Gabe Sapolsky and Road Dogg, and they're gone. And you just gotta feel bad for the man. But not too bad, I hope, because Triple H might weirdly be the popular underdog in terms of brands in WWE. But don't forget he's got a lot of weight to throw around in the wider world of wrestling, as evidenced by this story that has emerged. Cast your mind back to 2019 WrestleMania weekend, and there was quite a bit of hubbub regarding a joint Ring of Honor and New Japan G1 Supercard show that was booked to take place in Madison Square Garden, the spiritual home of WWE. Now this show was a popular venture with fans at the time. It featured the Elite. It sold 60% of its tickets during pre-sale and the rest within 15 minutes of them going live, but was seen by many as a bit of a direct shot across the prow at WWE. It's not like Cody and Co would ever do that. They've never done loads. And WWE certainly took it as a shot, even reportedly going so far as to try to get the show cancelled. And now reports have emerged that it was the Game himself who picked up the phone to MSG and asked them to ditch the show. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio said, "They did the Ring of Honor and New Japan show a couple of years ago. They sold out on the first day and WWE did get that blocked." Paul Levesque called up Madison Square Garden and said, "We don't want you booking that show." Meltzer then noted that the arena did try to cancel the show, but Sinclair Broadcasting, which owns Ring of Honor, threatened them with a lawsuit, so they had to go ahead with it. They had to turn around to WWE and say, like, we've given them the dates. Really sorry. And this has all surfaced again now because Major League Wrestling have filed their antitrust lawsuit against WWE, so that's why it's being talked about now. Before we crack on with the show, we just need to thank LIW's American Muscle Tyler Gamola and the Shield Maiden, the Zornice, for their support on Patreon. On to Rumble-related info now, and sadly a certain king is going to be missing this royal occasion, because most recent King of the Ring tournament winner Xavier Woods announced that he is injured during a recent appearance on G4 TV. He said, "Subatomae plantaris, it's the muscle underneath your calf. I was jumping in the ring to do a DDT, just jumping off the rope, so like 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll be good." But with the Rumble taking place in just 2 of those weeks, that likely puts Woods out. His Highness will not be gracing us with his presence. And the event was basically made for his character. So, not good news for Woods, and not good news for SmackDown either, as Drew McIntyre and Sasha Banks are also already out injured, and with the raft of releases, the roster is now shy of proper stars, and importantly, challengers for the main title. Look at the fact that Rollins has had to be shipped over to give Roman something to do at the Rumble. But the Rumble is also a place where lots of people make their wrestling return, so after the show, the SmackDown roster might be absolutely stacked once again. You never know. Stacked. Chopper. One name who's been teasing her own return under incredibly specific conditions, mind, is Bayley. The former SmackDown Women's Champion and Karen Prime has said that she will return to the Royal Rumble so long as Kayla Braxton enters the match. Here's how that works. Braxton was teased by WWE's The Bump Twitter account, and Bayley hopped into the conversation to say, if she does, then I am without a doubt making my return, just to throw her out so far that she lands on Michael Cole's dumb face. Not exactly a confirmation, more taking part in a fun Twitter trend, but she is building heat up again, and what do you need heat for? When you do the wrestling. Now, Bayley has been sidelined with a torn ACL since last summer. She had successful surgery in July and has said that her leg is recovering very well, so with a need for 30 women for the match, she could be a shoo-in. One other name in the mix for a return is Asuka, who's been MIA for some months now. Discussing her potential return, Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast said she should be cleared now from the supposed injury. Go on, WWE, pack them in. We need 30 of them. Get in there, Asuka. Get in there, Bayley. Kayla. Go on, Kayla. So the Rumble is one of WWE's signature matches, the others being things like Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, and Elimination Chamber. Now, the big complaint leveled at most of those was WWE tying a lot of those great match ideas into specific pay-per-views, meaning a feud suddenly had to escalate to Hell in a Cell levels right around October. Last year, we saw a shock twist to that formula, though, as Hell in a Cell moved up to June, and the company held a last-minute match between Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods on Raw after the show, and then took the demonic structure with them to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel to see Seth Rollins and Edge square off. Also shook up was the Elimination Chamber match in pay-per-view because it wasn't currently scheduled for 2022. So it looked unlikely that we would be seeing that match outside of its regular pay-per-view. But it has resurfaced, with Fightful Select saying that WWE is planning to bring the Chamber to their next Saudi Arabia show, which is scheduled for Saturday, February 19th. They are really going all out for the Prince's Super Sweet 16. He gets all the good stuff. Fake Yokozuna, Elimination Chamber. Mat Men's Andrew Zarian then also said that someone in Saudi had told him that WWE might also tape an episode of Raw while they were in the country, which is something they've never done before. It'd be interesting to see. On to lighter news now, unless you're Tommaso Ciampa's beard, which needs to be dark like you're 30 again, Ciampa. Diet, please. Because the former NXT champion is currently at the centre of a rumour vortex about a move to the main roster following him dropping the NXT title to Bron Breakker and him having dark matches at plenty of shows. Another clue would be that on a recent taping of Main Event, Ciampa appeared to take on T-Bar, sporting a beard with absolutely no flecks of grey in it. Now, for a while at NXT, Ciampa's been sporting this sort of salt and pepper look that gave him this real grizzled vibe, but Vince doesn't like people looking old. He don't like people looking old at all, and he's probably been asked to diet, which also suggests that some real TV time could be on the cards. Pete Dunne, who was the other name who's been working dark matches and Main Event, has also returned to his old look and NXT theme, seemingly in prep for a main roster debut, but we'll have to wait and see whether Dunne and Ciampa crop up on Raw or SmackDown, or manage to nab themselves a spot in the Rumble. Also, go and watch the match with T-Bar. I would have paid money to see that at TakeOver in old NXT, so we have to go watch it on Main Event. Show them what we want to watch. Speaking of old NXT, with William Regal giving the old heave-ho last week, the writing really is on the wall for the future direction of the brand. Now, as many people pointed out last week, Big Willie Regs would be a huge asset for any promotion to pick up, either as an on-screen personality or a backstage guru, and funnily enough, it's unlikely he's going to be short of offers, having already reportedly had one from Impact. On Busted Open Radio, Tommy Drever, whose suspension apparently has just ended, said that Regal, the moment I heard, I shot him a text and said, if you want to be a commentator at Impact or if you want to be a general manager figure, just let me know. He will have something when he chooses to. Let the bidding war game. People are gonna, you understand. Finally, just a quick update on Ridge Holland, who suffered a broken nose during his WWE Day 1 kickoff match while teaming with Sheamus against Cesaro and Ricochet. Speaking to El Brunch to WWE, Ridge Holland said that he was on the mend, but would probably still be missing the Rumble. He said, I feel good. I took a bit of a knock thanks to Ricochet, but the surgery was good. The nose is fixed. I'm just waiting for it to heal fully now, so we're good. Nice to hear when things go well.
He looks the same, basically.
Anyway, so we know that they're doing a Marvel. They know that Marvel are doing a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Because they announced. So Kevin Feige said we're doing a Fantastic Four movie, and they did that big Phase 4 video last year.
Oh, and I cried.
Same here.
Yeah.
And because it was like the big return to cinema and stuff, and it was like, here are all the movies, here are all the titles that we're doing.